Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video. The video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today I am very excited to be covering Trail Out, which is a Destruction Derby style racing game. It's a bit like if you took Wreckfest, Burnout, and Need for Speed Most Wanted, the original, mixed them all together and added in high octane fuel with cocaine, and that's pretty much what you get. It is Wreckfest and Burnout and Destruction Derby from the old school PS1 games with a story, and it is fantastic. I have really enjoyed my time on it so far, and we're going to go through everything today. We'll look at everything from the options to the different cars you can get and stuff like that. I will try and show you as much as possible. So without any further ado, and without me gushing over this game anymore, let's jump into it and see what it's got to offer. Alright then, options menu. There is actually a ton here, both accessibility and graphics options. It's a really well thought out menu. You've got automatic transmission, blood, vibration, metric system if you want metric or imperial, that's fantastic. Steering wheel, you can hide it if you want to when you're in the cab view. You've got slow motion effects. Honestly, you want those on because they're kind of incredible. Tips on hoods, hood on or off. Opponent markers if you want them. Game volume, it doesn't start it at maximum, but the game is rather loud as well. It is worth bearing that in mind. And also, you're probably going to want to, like, if you want to stream this game, maybe turn the game music off, just because I don't know how DMCA friendly it is. Maybe having a streamer mode so that some of the copyright free music could be played, because the soundtrack is incredible. It really is. You can change the AI difficulty on a slider as opposed to just being normal, easy or hard. You've got steering speed, return rate, counter speed. I don't know if this works with a wheel. We're going to find out on Friday this week as of recording this video, because I'm going to be streaming it, so we'll find out if it works with a wheel, if it's okay with a wheel, if my wheel is the right wheel for it, etc. But I can say that with a controller, this works incredibly well. And then you can even change the field of view for third person, first person, and your camera distance as well. Really, really robust settings with a lot of things that help with accessibility, from changing your FOV, game difficulty, and whether you want triggering things like blood on or off. Really, really happy with this. And this isn't all of them. So, your controls. Now, these are non-rebindable. It is a bit disappointing, purely and simply because it's 2022. Let us change stuff if we so desire. Although what I will say is that for a racing game, it's pretty standard. You've got your brake, your reverse, and steering where you need them to be. Handbrake is where you would expect it to be. It's pretty much, again, industry standard at this point. So yeah, overall not bad. I do like the fact that it does come up with keyboard controls as well if you want to use keyboard over controller. And like I say, I'm not sure if this is going to be wheel friendly or not. Graphics options. Now, what I like here is that it constantly tells you whether you're hitting the game performance or not. And it's not hitting a constant 60, but it's not noticeable, right? A few of the cutscenes are a bit jaggedy, but I've got everything on to max right now, and I'm running a 2060 Super with a Ryzen 7 3600X. And it is running just fine. Like, the races themselves, there's nothing that's causing a problem. It's just some of the cutscenes do sort of go jaggedy. Maybe I could turn them down to stop that, but it's not really a big issue. You've got your resolution, you've got screen mode, you've got quality render, you've got DLSS and RTX. This is really good to see in a game like this. It's fantastic, and it makes it look genuinely incredible. The lighting, the way that the cars actually look and behave, as arcadey as they are, they still look incredible. AA, you've got post-processing, shadow, textures, game effects, ambient occlusions, screen reflections, and you can set your FPS limit as well. It doesn't have an unlimited, but setting it to 60 just so I can record, I'm sure that if I was to set this higher and turn maybe the RTX off, it would be fine. You do have motion blur, which you can switch off or on, and you've got a rear mirror as well as VSync. Really, really robust menu this. Very, very impressed with it. Very, very happy with it. Let's look at what cars you can get and how they sort of do the cars, because I think it's very to the point and on the nose and looks incredible. Alright, so choosing and making your cars. It's done in a really great way. So you're basically playing as a destruction derby, so you're not going to spend a huge amount on your cars until you get later on. Like, you can get different bodies and stuff. And you basically start with the main body of the car you want, right? So you've got the Klein, or you've got the Demuga, and then you've got the one that I've already built. Once you select that, you get this cool animation that changes you through, and that's it. You've selected what you need then. And then you can basically go through here. You've got your body, so you can, you know, put the doors and everything back on. Then you've got your engine, you've got your gearbox, you've got your ECU, suspension, wheels, nitro system, paint job, and license plate. So you can literally customize everything for this car, and you can upgrade it later on and make it better. And each time you do, it will actually change the way the car looks, and it will change the way that the car behaves, and you will see what you get as a result. So as you can see here, we're going to increase the acceleration by adding just a basic stock body. You've then got the 025, and then you've got the full Demolition Derby racing style, which again will give you a bit more strength and durability. And when you select that, you can then move on to the engine, and you will see the different engines that you've got. It's very, very, very in-depth, and I like it. I like it a lot. Like with your gearbox, you can see where the gearbox goes. Although what would be nice is if maybe you could actually see the gearbox just like you can with the engine. But honestly, you see where it goes. You see what it's going to look like and what it's going to do. I really like this system. I think it helps with the immersion. Like, you are literally starting with nothing, and you're going in and you're like, yeah, nah, we're going to do it. The other nice thing is it gives you enough to buy 2 cars, right? Because I'm spending money as I do this, and it literally is, you have enough money to buy 2 cars straight from the get-go. They might be pretty basic, but you have almost enough to do that. So yeah, I am really, really happy with this. Let's look at what it drives like. So I said before that this is a little bit like Wreckfest, Demolition Derby, Burnout, and Need for Speed Most Wanted. And you can see where they took the inspiration from Most Wanted. You have a blacklist here. You have the big 8 kahunas that you've got to basically take out and beat. And you sort of follow Ivan Kormad, or Michalak, I think I've said that probably wrong, as you see what he's doing and how you're getting into it. But then you are going in your own career, which is it's the only weird thing about the story. But you basically go through, you got to go through the career and take out these blacklisted. Once you beat Frank Woods, you've beaten the game. So let's jump into that and see what happens. Alright, so you basically choose your race. It loads you in. The rendering takes a little bit of time, but honestly, that's fine. And then you're off, and you basically have a health bar. You gain points for doing damage and stuff like that. And you have to beat the other racers in a very arcadey style, sort of Wreckfest type thing. And as you can see, the particles, the RTX is doing its thing. It looks incredible. It is genuinely crazy, and there's a lot going on. The courses are not overly, they're not overly obvious what you've got to do or where you've got to go. There's a little mini map on the bottom left hand corner, but it is generally anything goes. Take out your opponents, try and survive. You've got a health bar up on the top right hand, because just as you can deal damage to them, they can very much do damage to you. Difficulty wise, I've left it on default, and it's challenging yet enjoyable, but I could see how some people might want a harder difficulty to go into it and to see what you can really do. Don't do what I just did, that's bad. I'm now last. We've got 2 laps left, but the damage looks amazing. The world building that they've done looks genuinely fantastic. It really, really does. I am in awe and in love with this game. Obviously, my car is performing like a bag of shit. That's to be expected. But yeah, I genuinely do. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to look forward to playing it on Friday, where hopefully I will do a little bit better. Like I said, frame rate seems perfectly fine. It doesn't seem to be an issue at all. Different camera views you've got. I could not imagine doing this at all. Most of the times I like first person view, but this is too chaotic and I can barely see anything. So yeah, like, it pretty much ticks all the boxes that I want. I don't want a super serious simulation racing type game like Assetto Corsa or Forza Motorsports 7 or 8 all of the time. Sometimes I just want something that's fun, crazy and daft, and this really, really does seem to tick the boxes. The only issue that I found so far that I have with this game is it looks like the co-op is local only. It doesn't look like it's got an online multiplayer yet. I don't know if they're planning on adding that. It is a very early version of the game, but everything else is top notch. And if you've not been sold on it yet, the price point probably will. I had a look earlier expecting this to be a £30 or a £40 game. It is currently selling in the UK for £13.99. This is a bloody steal. If you've not got this yet, get it. I highly, highly recommend it. It is incredible and so much fun. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.